Hi everyone, welcome back to the next episode of my travel diary series in Japan, and this is the second day of our little road trip that we were having on this particular portion of our trip. Now, before I get into this video, I did want to quickly touch on a couple of things. So in my previous video, I did sort of show off the stay that we had at the amazing Grand Exive Hotel in Naruto, and I did show off the breakfast that we had there on what would be this particular day of our trip as well. Now, there's a couple of things I did forget to mention about that though. So in my previous video, I showed off this amazing set meal that we had for breakfast on this day, but I did forget to mention just a couple of little things about these meals. So with these kind of traditional Japanese set meal breakfasts, they do have kind of like a particular order that it's recommended to eat these meals in, as well as a recommended way that they should be eaten. So for instance, with this sashimi here, it's actually recommended that you should put one piece on your leftover rice and pour the hot water from this kettle into it to create kind of like a rice porridge, which completely changes the flavor of the fish. There's a few little things like that that I really like about these kind of Japanese breakfasts. So moving on from the breakfast that we had at the Grand Exive Hotel, we headed back to the hotel lobby where we just had a nice sort of early morning coffee before we headed back up to our room to start packing to check out. While we were in the lobby, we did enjoy one last look at the amazing view from the Grand Exive Hotel. As well as the incredible interior, which, as I mentioned in my previous video, I really love the design in here. It was just a very elegant interior, and there was also this music box in the background sort of playing these really calming tunes, which was actually incredibly expensive, but you can actually buy them here. After we finished packing and checking out of the hotel, we said goodbye to the Grand Exive Hotel in Naruto to head over to our next destination in the Kagawa Prefecture. So in the Kagawa Prefecture, we were heading to a town called Kotohira. Now, for those of you who may not know, the Kagawa Prefecture is actually home to the Pokemon called Slowpoke. And throughout the Kagawa Prefecture, you can actually find these really cool manhole covers that have different pictures of Slowpoke on them. So the reason that we came to Kotohira in the Kagawa Prefecture was to visit the Kotohira Shrine. On the way to the Kotohira Shrine, there's actually a lot of really nice stores and restaurants to see along the way. I also really like the style of this little town of Kotohira. It's got a much older Japanese style to it, which is something I personally really enjoy. Kagawa Prefecture is also really famous for udon. So along the way, you'll definitely see a lot of really nice looking udon restaurants. You'll also see a lot of places that have these 100 yen bamboo walking sticks. And the reason for that is because the walk to the Kotohira Shrine is actually up a mountain. So to get to the main shrine of Kotohira, there's roughly 785 steps. And to get to the inner shrine, there's a total of 1,368 steps. So to get to the main shrine, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. In saying that though, there's a lot of really nice stores along the way and a lot of amazing sights to see as well. So really, the time just flies by. I honestly filmed so much on the way to the Kotohira Shrine, and A lot of it was just of the really nice stores along the way that had so many amazing things inside. I could have spent a lot of money here if I didn't hold myself back. I filmed well over an hour's worth of footage on the way to Kotohira Shrine, just to the main steps, so I feel like I do want to show off a lot of the things that we saw along the way, but I might have to cut out quite a bit of it for this video. But there was definitely a lot of really cute souvenir stores along the way, so if you don't want to spend too much money, I would recommend leaving your wallet at home when you come here to force yourself to not be able to buy anything.
猫大仏、キャット大仏。Oh my god, that's so cute. ここ見て、ぼんやりこたずき。可愛いねあれ。可愛いし、家の前置いといたら可愛いね。普通の花火の代わりに。ね。ちょっと可愛い。可愛い、ちょっとぼんやりしてる。なんか白いの、白いやつ。And because it was Year of the Snake for the Chinese zodiac when we went to Japan, they had a lot of little snake souvenirs to represent the Chinese zodiac as well. And I really love these Shiba tote bags because the Shiba is definitely my favorite breed of dog. They are just so cute. So as we made it to the main gate of the Kotohira Shrine, when we had a look around, you could really see just how far we'd come. There was definitely a lot of stairs just to get to this point, and there was a whole lot more to go from here. I really love the architecture of old Japanese shrines, especially these lanterns. Kotohira just got even more amazing once we passed the first torii gate on the way to the Kotohira Shrine. I really like seeing all of these trees and stones and lanterns all covered in moss. It always gives me that sort of Studio Ghibli type vibe. There was honestly so much to see along the way to the Kotohira Shrine that I feel like for a lot of these clips I may just not say anything and let the videos kind of talk for themselves. There were a couple of restaurants on the way up to the Kotohira Shrine for those who wanted to have a meal on the way up. We decided not to eat here because we already had plans of where we were going to eat though. I should also mention that I did make the decision when coming here to take these steps 2 stairs at a time.
And I gotta say, by the time we got up to the main shrine of Kotohira, I was definitely feeling it. It was definitely a very good leg workout. On the way, we saw these really cute dogs, and this one here was just so tired by this point on his journey. I could only imagine how his little legs must have been feeling at this point. His younger brother seemed fine though. I could imagine just how stunning this place must look during the autumn season when all of the leaves have finished changing colours. But even during this season, just before autumn has fully begun, it was still just absolutely amazing. The shrine itself was absolutely incredible. It had such amazing architecture and just fine details throughout. I feel like I'm always in awe whenever I'm looking at these old Japanese shrines. Taking these steps 2 stairs at a time, I was definitely starting to feel it by this point, which was just shy of the top. And this is the main Kotohira Shrine that we were coming up here to pray at today. Now, for those of you who may not know, filming the inside of almost all shrines in Japan is kind of frowned upon. So for that reason, I did not film up close the inside of the actual shrine. However, as a reward for reaching the top of the shrine, I did get to pat this incredibly cute black Shiba. She was absolutely adorable and makes me want a dog even more.
かわいいね。女の子ですか？女の子だって。かわいい。かわいいね。ありがとうございます。
The view of the town of Kotohira from the top of the Kotohira Shrine was absolutely amazing. It's hard to believe that we actually walked this far in such a short amount of time. But with all the amazing things to see at the top here, it was well worth it. And that's why this is probably one of my favorite shrines that I've ever been to in Japan. I believe that there is a JR line that actually stops about 10 minutes away from Kotohira, so to visit here you could quite easily just take a train into the Kagawa Prefecture to have a day trip out to Kotohira. On the way back down from the shrine, we decided to stop off to get these little udon cat souvenirs because we could not just look around at all these incredibly cute stores without getting something. And we also ran into that cute little Shiba again, and we just could not help but stop for another pat. And on the way down, I think I also found my favorite drink that I've ever had. It was this olive soda, which I highly recommend. If you ever see, you should definitely get some. It was really refreshing. For lunch, we stopped off at the bottom of the Kotohira steps at a restaurant called Konpira Udon, because you just cannot come to the Kagawa Prefecture without stopping off to have some udon. So this is actually a relatively famous udon restaurant and is definitely very popular for that reason. And I must say, this would have to have been some of the best udon I've ever eaten. I would highly recommend that if you're ever in Kagawa, you should definitely come to Konpira Udon because it was amazing. One other thing that they have a lot of here is these ice cream with these sugar balls. So after lunch, we decided to get a ice cream snack because it was definitely something a little bit unique. I'd never seen ice cream quite like this before and I just couldn't help myself. So the store that we got the ice cream from was actually just across the way from Konpira Udon at a store called Nakano Udon Gakko Kotohira. And it's actually attached to a little souvenir store as well, and as expected has quite a bit of Slowpoke related gifts here. So afterwards we headed back to the car to continue the drive from Kagawa to the Okayama Prefecture. On the way we decided to stop off at the Washuzan observation deck. And here we actually saw another Pokemon manhole cover. This time it was for Lucario. I really do think that these manhole covers are such a cool idea. We didn't stay at the observation deck for too long because we needed to continue our drive to the town of Kurashiki in the Okayama Prefecture. When we arrived, we headed straight to our hotel for the night, which was the Royal Park Hotel in Kurashiki. So the Royal Park Hotel is a business hotel, and these kind of hotels are actually quite cheap and are quite nice to stay in. The rooms are quite small, but that's not really the reason why you come to these hotels. After we finished checking into the Royal Park Hotel, we headed straight back out to head out for dinner. We already had plans of where we were going to be eating, so we knew exactly where we were going. There was a lot of really nice stores and restaurants along the way as usual, and I really like these little market streets throughout Japan. On the way to the restaurant that we were going to be having dinner at, we saw yet another Pokemon manhole cover, this time of the Pokemon called Unpheasant. Not my favorite Pokemon, but still pretty cool to see. Walking through the streets of the town of Kurashiki at night was really cool. It has a very old Japanese style to it. So the restaurant that we were heading to on this particular night of our travels was Modotte ki Oden. Now this is kind of like a small izakaya type restaurant, and I didn't really want to make anyone uncomfortable by filming too much in here, so I tried to limit how much of the sort of interior that I was actually filming other than my food. And I gotta say, we ordered so much food that I honestly could not remember half of the dishes that we got, but it was all absolutely incredible. I would highly recommend that if you ever spend any time in Kurashiki, you definitely should seek this place out, because yeah, the food was just so amazing, words can't even describe. After dinner, we pretty much just walked back to the hotel to have a nice relaxing night, finishing up at the bathhouse at the hotel itself. On the next day of our trip, we do have quite an early morning start, and I'm really looking forward to showing that particular day because it was really amazing. It was probably one of my favorite days of the entire trip. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I'd really like to know your thoughts and opinions on the places that we went to on this particular day, so if you can let me know in the comments, that would be great. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye for now.